Hey everyone, I am WarwickSTL, and usually you will find me playing retro speedrun games or point-and-click adventures, but this is Neversong, which is a newer game that we've been speedrunning for about 3 months since it released just about 3 months ago. So it does start off with a 2-minute cutscene, so let's go ahead and get things started here just so I can kind of introduce you to the game in 3, 2, 1, go. Alright, so we start off, like I said, with a 2-minute cutscene, and it's going to kind of introduce us to our main characters, Ren and Peet. Now, Peet is who we control throughout this entire duration of the game, but Atmos Games and Serenity Forge start off with this message: Neversong is a moving story of loss and hope. It contains themes including traumatic death that some may find emotionally upsetting. To those who suffer, know that you are not alone. Please ask for help. And so, as you read, it does contain themes including traumatic death, but with the speedrun, it does pretty much lose most of the story. You're not really going to be able to connect it, so it's a great playthrough. 100% suggest just doing a casual speedrun, or a casual run of Neversong. And so let's go ahead and find out a little bit more about Peet.
Was gray until he found a friend one day. It was no normal friend he'd found. She was but the prettiest.
And so a little later on in this cutscene, we're actually introduced to our main villain, Dr. Smile.
Adventures
But something here that's really important in the game is this piano. So throughout the game, you go against level bosses, and they have 5 different cycles, each one of those representing a different note in that boss's song. And so at the end of the fight, you actually obtain the boss's song, you come back to the piano, play the notes, and then it unlocks an item. Now, since we're speedrunning and we've played the game before, we're actually going to input all 4 songs at the very beginning of the game to unlock those items so that we have them all throughout the duration of the entire run. And so here is Dr. Smile taking Ren. But first, before we go to the piano, we're actually going to go into the training area that is called Peet's Mind, because Peet is in a coma. And it kind of teaches us the basic techniques of jumping and examining. And we're going to try and do what is called squish jumps, and that's going to be where we rapidly press jump, and it saves us about 5 seconds overall in this training area if we hit every one of them. So it's pretty important right off the bat. Alright, so there is a squish jump right there. That's what they look like. There is 4 possible in this little section. The second one we just missed. And then now we're introduced to elevators where we have to jump on them twice in order to make them move. But we continue jumping on them, and that does allow the elevator to go down a little bit faster. We just missed the 3rd squish jump. Not a problem, though. And hit a little bit of the 4th one, so a little bit of a boost, but not as much as we could have gotten if we hit them all. But again, not a time, not too crazy of a time loss, not a run killer by any means. And so we finish the training area, we press the button, and we are taken into, well, hello, Fiona. Everybody, Fiona. I think she's going after a fly that's down here, so she may be making a few appearances throughout this run, and that is not a problem. So we are finished with our training area. We're going to open up, or we're going to wake up at our piano on top, and then we just go under, we play some songs, and then we obtain some items. So alright, so we got a little platform area, and like I said, all of these are not supposed to be open yet. It's supposed to be as you defeat the bosses, but since we've already beaten the game, we know what the songs are, so we go ahead and get all of the items that we need for the game. Oh, that was not right. There we go. So this is our first level clip of the game, and basically what we're doing is clipping in a way that gets us out of the house and over about 2 screens while flying, so we're able to go through the entire village and then hop right over the boxes. Those boxes you're supposed to have to destroy, but we found what's called the umbrella boost, where we can jump, trigger the umbrella, and then get a little bit of a boost to jump over the boxes. And so now we meet Bird, and Bird is our companion throughout the entire game, and Bird's going to be used to carry a few items, or yeah, pretty much just carries a few items. And then we're going to meet Simeon here, who is our first character of the game. And so Simeon heard that Rin was in the sewers, so they went to see if they could find Rin, because they know that she's missing right now. And Simeon has an issue where they sometimes inflate. So as they were trying to search for Rin, they accidentally inflated while they were going to the entrance. And so we're unable to get in there. And we're supposed to get the sewing needle, but we actually go to the second level first, which is the cemetery. And we're going to do our first major skip of the game. I'll explain it here in just a second. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And if we did this correctly, we should actually meet or fall down a few, probably about 5 screens over to the right to our to an area where, let's see here. Yep, there it is. So we're just falling down. Yeah, that's about right. And so that actually allowed us to skip a required fight and make our way over a little bit. Now we did trigger the elevator there by doing a little boost jump, and now we're able to access the treetops. So normally we're supposed to go all around that level and make our way over at that point, but we just skipped all that by going to that scene skip. And so now we went to the treetops. We went to Gumgirlza's, who we just talked to, and Gumgirlza told us that if we find some nails for our bat, that we'll be able to install them. So let's go ahead and get those. So this is our first required fight of the game, where we have 3 of these flying farters. We have to hit them 3 times, and we've already hit them once, twice, and 3 times. So there it is. So now that we have beaten that required fight, the pillars do go down, and we actually make our way to the treehouse. And so we're going to use this elevator to kind of boost ourselves up, jump over this little area, and hit our first grown-up. So we have to hit 3 grown-ups to wake up the monster that's at the end of this level. And so that is the first one. We're going to make our way over because we just picked up the nails where we can install them on our bat. And that will allow us to actually trigger some bombs that we need. So any chain that you see with an X on the top of it, you can use the nail bat to cut them down, and then the bomb will trigger and allow you to destroy some blocks or some get you to some different areas. So let's go ahead and get ourselves to the swing and use it to boost a little bit over. Then we're going to do another level skip on the right side here, so we actually go out of bounds over on the right hand side, and that will take us over to our second grown-up. And this is not the intended way to access it, but pretty clean way to get there. So, although that spider was super mean and wasn't supposed to be in our way there, but happens a lot. Although thankfully the spiders aren't really the run killers in this game. So here's our second grown-up. And now we're going to make our way up to this little area up here at the top, because there's some blocks that we were supposed to take out, but since we did our little boost, we didn't have to take them out. So then here's our third grown-up, which now triggers the monster to be open, but first we go through this cutscene.
It was him again, that Dr. Smile, singing softly.
So now this shows our villain, Dr. Smile, but he's not our enemy. It's actually going to be Mr. Toyne, who is, we're kind of debating as to what Mr. Toyne is, but everybody in this game has a really unique design. So we're going to go ahead and jump up and try and stick on top of hitting Mr. Toyne the whole time, 5 different cycles. So let's cross our fingers for a really clean cycle on this one. Yeah, I'm getting a little hint that is the baseball anglerfish. So now we use these swings to go up on top of Mr. Toyne. and we have to hit him 10 times every cycle. But sometimes there is a double hit that you get lucky with, so sometimes it's actually a little less than 10, but overall the general consensus is 10 times. So you'll notice that we're getting hit and knocked a little bit further back onto the platform. So we just hit the platform and then we jump off, trigger the umbrella immediately, which allows us to slow fall into Mr. Toyne again, because we can fall off, so it could be tough. But that was actually a pretty clean fight. And so now I said 5 cycles, which represents 5 different notes. So now they form into an orb, and then we're able to hit that orb 5 times and obtain Mr. Toyne's song. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. So now we have Mr. Toyne's song. We head over to the scene to the right where we can do our first intentional death of the game. So we're going to hit a few of these spiders, and for some reason they just don't want to play nice. But we make our way over, and that takes us back to the beginning of the level. So usually that would be a really big detriment to your run, but since we're already finished with the level, it actually really helps us out because we don't have to walk to the left. We can just take a death, and there's no penalty for taking that death. So now what I'm trying to do is land, so we got it, land to the right of these spiders, but far enough to the left to where we don't trigger what the pillar that actually starts in the scene. So now I am actually off the screen, and the other spider, or flying farter, is really high on the screen. So we're just waiting for him to head on down, and now we can finally get the last one where the pillar finally drops. And so now we can make our way back because Bird does have Simeon's sewing needle now, and we can make our way into the sewer by using the needle. And we're going to hold right as we fall and constantly spam the umbrella, and that way we can actually miss a cutscene trigger that starts. And now we want to keep one of these spiders over to the left here, but not too far away because... All right, that was pretty good. So we're going to trigger the Simeon and the pillar cutscene at the same time. So now we're able to kind of save a few seconds with that, and this is a big one right here. So that was too low. So we have what's called the water level skip. In just 1 second. There, that should be good. There we go. All right, so that's not the intended way to get that skip, but there is, I guess I'm like one of the only runners in Neversong that hits that sometimes, where we got a double wall jump, and so it's kind of fun. It's very lucky, but it's just by spamming jump and attack at the same time, and sometimes it works out. But yeah, so that is a few seconds of time lost, but overall not too bad on the run. And now we have to actually jump in some certain areas on the screen, or else we would trigger a cutscene. And it's those 2 little areas in the middle of the bridge. Now we have to push Simeon all throughout the sewer, but we gotta... I'll just explain this in a second. It's gonna save us some time, trust me. We're trying to hit Simeon over without triggering a cutscene. And so there's a certain spot that you hit on Simeon to roll him. And we got it. Cool. All right, so we have to do that once, and then we can make our way over. So now Simeon has to be covered in sand, sludge, and spider eggs. And so we actually get those by rolling him throughout the sewer. And there's some new little skips that we've been worked on recently. And that's not one of them, but it's kind of a speed boost by triggering your skateboard, and you see that we're starting to move a little faster on the game. And there's the sludge. And then finally, the spider eggs are going to come here in just a second, but we do need to actually go through that cutscene skip again. And so it is a little tough, but hopefully we can get through it for the 3rd time. And then we'll make our way over to the right, get our spider eggs, and then trigger our second boss battle, which is Mrs. Richardson, otherwise known as Mrs. RNG, because it is a completely RNG-based fight. There we go. Now I'm going to push him a little bit further. There we go. Got the full Simeon skip. That's a big time saver, because usually the cutscene that you can trigger is about 45 seconds, so... And we just saw Mrs. Richardson in the background. She is sleeping at the moment, so these smells that we're putting on Simeon right now are actually going to trigger Mrs. Richardson to wake up. So kind of makes it, kind of get your boss battle all set and ready to go. And actually the spiders are playing really nice. We need to keep these spiders open, because, or alive, because we're going to use them for a death skip here in just a second. So now we knock this down. We hope that the spiders make their way to the right, but of course they're going to go to the left. We want a clear path, as clear as possible. And so what I'm going to do is actually make my way over here and reset where the spiders are so that we can continue our way to the Mrs. Richardson fight. And so like I said, this is an absolute RNG-based fight that's really tough, and you never know how many cycles you're going to get in each stage. So now I've been trying to develop a little method where I swing left and right, as well as like kind of, you see that Miss Richardson is tracking me. And so I'm trying to get her to track left and right in a pretty quick fashion, because I feel like once there's a certain amount of tracking going, she'll actually attack. And so her first attack is going to be this little head swing right here, where her head is more like a wrecking ball, and she can do quite a bit of damage if she hits you. And so we want to avoid that. There we go. So that's a 2 cycle, pretty good. And so this next cycle that we get, or this next attack phase that we get, she's going to start spitting spiders at us that we've been encountering. And so that is going to be a random amount. We never know how many she's going to spit out at us, but again, she can do several cycles of this, so we just want to get her to track back and forth, and she can do this head movement again, which is a big time loss because it is such a long attack. But there we go. That was not horrible. That was not great, but not horrible at the same time. So we're just going to take that phase 2, or phase 3, take it to the bank, and hopefully she'll give us a nice phase 4 and 5, which starts off with a head bob, which is a lot slower than those spiders. So we kind of prefer that she gives us spiders just because she can do 1 spider at a time. But that was really good with 1 head bob in this 4th cycle. And so now 5th cycle happening, we can get 1 spider shot out and then go right into an attack. So let's hope that that happens here. Yep, that's all right. 1 spider, but let's see if we can trigger her attack. Nope, there is a head bob. Still, a head bob and a spider would not be a bad cycle at all. But oh no, we're in danger zone right here. Okay, that could have been really bad. But we're good. Come on, Miss Richardson, you know you want to attack. There's another spider, so the spider actually makes it look like she's going to attack. There we go. But now the full attack, she goes up a little bit higher, so not bad overall. Pretty happy with the fight, but can be a lot better than that. So we go ahead and get our orb, and then we're going to take our second intentional death of the run here after we collect this song. So and we want to kind of avoid those fragments. I did a really bad job on that one, but we want to actually like try and keep it at 4 hearts as long as possible. So once we collect 100 of the heart fragments, we get ourselves another heart in the game. And there's basically a limitless amount of hearts that you can collect overall. So we just try and do some jumps and things like that to avoid overall, but sometimes it happens. It's unavoidable. But we do have a little bit of a cutscene coming up where we see Dr. Smile in the background with that bird cage, which has Ren in it. And so he's actually going towards the cemetery because we're supposed to come back, play the song, and then go back to the cemetery at this point. But since we already have all of those songs and items, we can continue making our way over. And now we're actually going to see Dr. Smile again here in just a second in the same fashion, because it's supposed to be a lot more spaced out, but you know, speedrunning. So there he is again. And now we're going to do another one of those umbrella boosts here to get over this pillar, because we're supposed to hit all 4 of those triggers, but instead of doing that, we just go right over, say forget the pillars, and then we make our way to the 3rd boss of the game, which is Granny. And so Granny's got something stuck in her throat, so we have to actually turn on that power plant that's in the background to allow her to cough, because the power plant makes her cough. So kind of a sad situation, but overall, it's part of the game. So we head over here, make our way over to Preston, and then we have this required fight again under the water tower. And so this is a very dangerous fight to have overall, because you have a lot of enemies, and they could just ping pong you back and forth. So you got to take it really easy and try and just focus on one enemy at a time. So that was actually really clean. So now we're going to make our way over, and we are going to hit all 4 triggers this time, because that does release a pillar, but it also gives us the chance to boost off of said pillars. So we go up, make our way over. Now we're going to use these to jump onto the water tower here in just a second. So there we go. And you'll notice that that once we head back outside again, that bird, there's going to be a speaking spell that just fell from the sky. And so we're supposed to get that speaking spell to get access to this area, but we obviously didn't get that. So now we take our intentional death, we go all the way back. You'll notice that bird is still holding that key that we just picked up, which was, it gives us access to the Booty Bum clubhouse, which is going to be right over here, right at the beginning. So instead of going through all of those stages again, we go ahead and head on in. So we do a few little boosts over, make our way, and now we're actually going to tell them that our name is something, which we just read.
I've got first name, please. Oh, wow. What? Oh, yeah.
All right, so we read a letter, and now we can go outside and actually get access to this bomb that will show us not show us, but give us access to the item that the kid wants to turn the power plant back on, so that his grandma can cough. So we get what's called sugar blasters here. And there they are. So let's get in. But we're also going to obtain a song, which is our barbershop quartet right here. So let's get our split ready. And then we boost up, and instead of going out the door, we actually fall through here, because we can use this to boost ourselves over and make our way through. All right, so a little bit quicker. And once again, we'll use this ramp to head up, head right over, and then go into this clubhouse right here. Or not the clubhouse, the power company, where we give the sugar blasters to the kitten here. And then now we can hit this switch, and the power is back on again. Now we are supposed to go and have a boss fight here, because we're supposed to go all the way back, get the sugar blasters, and then come back. But Granny goes ahead and gives us her song here, and it says, wait, isn't there supposed to be like a boss battle or something? Well, there is. If you actually exit this screen and come back again, then the boss battle triggers. But since we don't have to go all the way back to the town and then back here again, we skip that boss battle. So now we head into this new area. Now we're supposed to access this a little earlier in the game, but you know, speedrun strats, skipping and everything, we don't have to hit that. So now this is a scary area, because we have the possibility of getting ping pong back and forth, but RNG has been on our side this run, and so we just need to hit this area, make our way, and we are so close to the end now. Just getting there. We have to make our way to the Blackfork Asylum. But first, we just need to hit some triggers. 4 of them. 3. There's 4. All right. So now we're just going to play it safe, hit the fan, go up, and then make our way over. So now this is the entrance to the Blackfork Asylum. Usually you'll pick up some cards and things like that for the game in this area, but we just skip all throughout all of that. And now when we go into the asylum, we're going to hit one of the coolest areas of the game where we manipulate the entire room. So this is kind of showing, oh man, something a little bit more might be going on. And so we just make our way all the way to the door, all the way to the right of this stage, to where we will go into the Asylum. And then we will, we're supposed to make our way through the Asylum, pick up all these clues and everything, but we know that the clock that we have to spell out the name Peter Smile with 2 E's, so Peetersmile. Now, why would the clock look like that? You'll tell in just a second here. It's a very quick transition, and I just want to explain it now, just that we know what's going on. Now we see Dr. Smile in the background with his birdcage. So let's head on and enter Peter Smile into the... All right. So there's Peter Smile. So the left one moved the button, or moved the clock, and then the right one entered the letter that we put in the actual input. All right, so we have this cutscene. It kind of tells us a little bit more about what has been going on. So the whole time, if we would have looked at that birdcage down at the bottom, what we thought was Ren with Dr. Smile actually wound up being a puppet this entire time. So Dr. Smile was kind of getting us to come to this asylum for this final battle. And Dr. Smile thinks that he is going to beat us and that we are going to, he's going to use our youth to distribute to all the grown-ups, and there's the psychological part of Neversong.
Just in time for nightfall. See, you are just the appetizer.
And notice throughout this entire duration of the fight, so like I said, 5 different cycles, notice how Dr. Smile transitions his look a little bit. So right now he looks like a monster, but watch what happens. So there's 5 cycles. The first cycle, he only has knife throws. And so he goes 2 attacks, 3 attacks, 4 attacks, 4 attacks, 5 attacks. So now we just try and wait for him to throw his knives. And so if we go on the left side of this screen, basically at any point, it's going to trigger a music glitch, and all of the boss music is going to be gone away. But we go to the right side of the screen to allow that to not happen. So we make our way over here because the room is actually inverted upside down. And so you'll notice that we're supposed to start on the middle of that screen and hop our way back up by avoiding the spikes. But since we're at the top of that screen, we could just jump right over and immediately hit Dr. Smile. So now we are introduced to this new attack where 4 spikes come from the bottom, and that's the attack that we want because it is the quickest attack. So it goes 4 spikes and then knife attack, and this was a great fight for us, even though we did take a little bit of damage. We'll get that right back. But and then the next cycle, we are introduced to a laser, which is the slowest, or actually not this cycle, but the 4th cycle, we're introduced to the laser. And so that is the attack that we do not want, because that is the slowest attack of Dr. Smile. So we just want a whole bunch of knife attacks. And we're getting some really quick attack cycles here, which is really nice. And as soon as I say something about it, it's probably gonna take forever now. But here's another spike, and so we need 1 more attack, and then we'll be at the end of the cycle. So let's make our way over to our safe zone. Hopefully he does a quick snap. And then we will be on to phase number 4 of the fight. So there's our attack, or our snap. Let me jump, trigger the umbrella, wait for him to appear. And there is phase 3 down, 2 more to go. And now time does not end once we finish this fight. We still have a cutscene, and we have to actually play a song on the piano. So now here is the new attack that we were talking about, that laser attack. And so this is the slowest one that there is, but we do not want many of those. We're hoping for the 4 spikes a lot, but there is a second laser attack. And so like we said, this stage he will do 4 attacks before he's done. Oh, there is a 3rd laser. Not good RNG on this one. That's That's a little tough to have, but hopefully we get a 4 spike on this one. Okay, that's all right. We've got a knife, which is still okay. So now, gotta wait for him to snap, make our way over. And now the final attack is pretty nice because instead of having to wait for Dr. Smile to show up and a few hits before we can attack him, as soon as he shows up, we hit him and it triggers the final cutscene. So now we are in the 5th and final stage. You'll notice that Dr. Smile has changed his look a little bit and is now looking a little bit more like our main character in the game, Peet. And you'll notice that his name is Peter Smile, Dr. Peter Smile. And our main character's name is Peet. All right, so this has not been the greatest fight so far, but that is 3. All right, that's better. But another laser, so 3 out of 4 on this one has been lasers. A little bit of a tough RNG situation, but got one more to go, and there it is, the 5th and final attack of this round. So we hope for a quick snap, as he's gonna snap his fingers, then we're gonna land on the step, and then we are gonna hit him all by ourselves. So let us see us do it. All right, there's the 5th and final attack, so we wait for Dr. Smile to show his, to collect his orb together, and then we will collect the final song. And we gotta hit it 5 times, just like normal. And there is the final notes of the final song. So just final cutscene, we wake up at the piano, and then the time does stop once we play the final note of the final song.
I'm sorry, Ren. I missed your call.
And again, an amazing game to play casually. It's about a 4 or 5 hour casual run. The music is amazing. There's a YouTube video of the Neversong music. You can just put it on the background. It's incredible. Just great. Really good song. And so this is our final song of the game, DCD E A. But we won't be playing it that slow. We're going to play it as quick as possible and finish our run. All right, and we have a 31:58. Whew.
Your song reminded me of when we were kids. Just me and Ren.
So now you see Peet alone playing his final song, and then we come to find out that Bird is actually Ren the whole time. So our companion the whole time has been our best friend Ren that we thought we lost.
Coma, high up above. My one true love whispers.
Wake up.
And so that was Neversong. I'm WarwickSTL. This is our marathon submission video, and I do appreciate you taking the time to check out this video. And hopefully we will be running Neversong soon in your marathon.